The bully expects that you will go down alone. But that's the reason why you don't go down voluntarily. I hope, I expect people will come in to help, and that will help transform and strengthen our democracy. In the Philippines, this is where I live. Don't say I'm naive.
No, you're not naive. Welcome.
Good.
Welcome.
Nobel Peace Prize winner Maria Ressa really isn't naive, but she is in trouble.
More lows and highs or more highs and lows?
Depends.
But are you feeling like there's a chance that this is the last time
Maybe.
you come to a place like this?
Yeah.
Charged criminally and repeatedly for everything from tax fraud to cyber libel under laws condemned by human rights organizations globally.
Are we a democracy or not?
She knows jail might happen soon and maybe forever. She could move countries, avoid imprisonment, but as her book suggests, she won't. She still believes it is possible to stand up to a dictator. How you do that is why she came to talk.
It's such an honor.
Stopped en route by some Filipino-Canadian journalists eager to say hello. They know she matters, and they know she's up against it.
It's extreme highs, and then you drop. Oh my God, I'm going to jail. Extreme lows. Oh my God, will there be violence?
It seems like all your avenues for appealing this conviction and are kind of done. You have one shot left, right?
This Kafkaesque case, which is like a story that I didn't write, edit, or supervise, that was published at a time when the law we supposedly violated didn't even exist. I mean, I had 10 arrest warrants in less than 2 years. You know, there was like a period of time where every month I keep thinking, am I going to get arrested again? This is political harassment, right?
When they hear your case, how long will it take before they render a decision? They could do it right away.
It could be done quickly. It could take years.
What are you facing sentence-wise?
For cyber libel, this particular one that is almost 7 years in prison, I face a total of 7 criminal charges right now, and the other cases, total it's almost 100 years. It's the rest of my life.
Almost 100 years. If I talk to my mom, I talk to people in the newsroom, they all say, Maria has an American passport. Why is she going back?
Do you know what that means? That means I become a criminal.
Is there not a part of you that says, I have to save my life?
But who would I be if I didn't do the thing that I need to do?
But I also feel like I know you enough now that you wear your work like a coat of armor.
It really is.
You could go back to the States, into the embrace of your family there, and the people who love you would be enormously relieved. And you could talk to newsrooms and young journalists all over the world and fire them up.
I live in the Philippines, and in the Philippines, journalists are fighting for press freedom. And I do not want to be the tipping point to push the death of press freedom. I don't want to be a rat deserting a sinking ship, because I'm not convinced the ship will sink.
Supporters of the slain broadcaster.
I've seen pictures of you at the wake of Percy Lapie, a journalist who was gunned down in his car, right?
He was waiting to enter his gated community, and a motorcycle shot him and killed him.
So that's what you talk about when you talk about violence against you.
It's the way assassinations are done. Of course, I have security now. I've had to. The reason I travel sometimes is it's so nice to walk around without security, right?
Without a flak jacket?
You've come to Manila and you've seen what we have to do.
You have really good lawyers, and I know Amal Clooney is a global superstar. Is that helpful, or in a strange way, is there the potential for that to be a hindrance?
I always call it my insurance card. Journalists we shine the light. That's our only defense, right? But I have a flashlight. Amal Clooney has Klieg lights, you know?
An observation about you is that The closer this date gets, my outsider perspective is that there is a frantic nature to the work you're doing.
Yeah.
That you are talking to so many people, so many companies, so many political leaders. You are going. What is the urgency of what it is you're trying to say to them?
Oh my gosh. We're in the last 2 minutes of democracy globally, right? I think there's far more at stake in the world than my freedom or my fate. Is this the tipping point for democracy, or the other way, the tipping point for fascism? Mm-hmm. And you can see it, the rise of the right globally, right? I mean, you just saw Sweden, Italy, right? I mean, countries that you would not expect. The rise of Nazism in Germany.
More autocracies than democracies? No.
There are now more people around the world who live under autocratic governments than in democracies. The number of democracies have been rolled back to where it was 15 years ago. And when I say last 2 minutes, I mean 2 years. 2 years.
What's the 2 years?
Okay, so this year, right, there are 32 elections, key elections globally. French elections. Next year, you're going to have Turkey, Nigeria, African nations, the beginning of the Indian elections. 2024 is critical. The greatest problem we face today is how our minds are being manipulated through our emotions, using fear, anger, and hate.
Online, if someone is reading something and it fires them up and makes them furious, it will spread. But if it also fires them up and inspires them to act in a good way, that has the same spreadability.
And look at where it happened globally, February 2022, this year, right? A comedy actor, he happens to be president, decides not to leave his country and stay, even though he could get killed.
Прем'єр-міністр Шмигаль тут.
And he inspires his entire nation to fight against overwhelming forces. If we don't change anything significantly now, if the tech doesn't change, if the corruption in our information ecosystem, what I call the atom bomb, if that continues, we will elect more illiberal leaders democratically who will then crumble the institutions of democracy from within.
So what are my tools to do something about it?
So what's the solution, right? There is a solution. We've been through this before. The long term, of course, is education. Mm-hmm. The medium term is legislation, which is why I've been speaking to so many governments. The Digital Services Act in the EU. But the short term, what does civic engagement look like in the age of exponential lies? Not enough of us have figured this out. I'm not going to be a tipping point to lose press freedom. You know what will happen if I did do something like that? Every single journalist, they will move out of journalism. Every smart kid trying to be a journalist, that was what will break my heart.
And you probably couldn't live with that, right?
Oh my God, that would break my heart. Look, that's
what's making you upset, is the idea that that much is riding on
Doesn't that
on you.
suck?
Yeah, no, it does, because that means that you're not actually free to make a choice that is a choice for you to make about your own life.
It's not mine right now, right?
It's not yours. It might be a while before we
You come
sit
visit
down.
if something bad happens.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing so much.
Thank you for having me here and reminding me newsrooms exist.